Who is this? That's
Oh,
girl. That's how I used to answer the phone when I was a child on my parents' house phone. I remember my mama like going off, going ham on me
like who
because of my
taught you
phone
how to
etiquette.
answer the
I
phone
don't
like that?
know. I just thought I was, you know what? It wasn't anyone taught me. It was like the way my mind processed answering the phone. It was like, okay, when you answer the phone, you say hello, they start speaking, then you ask, who is this? So I'm just going to ask, who is this from the jump? That way, I could just skip a few steps. And I remember my mama
But
like, pap,
but
pap,
you
pap.
yeah, you had to answer it like a gangster.
I didn't realize in the moment, when I was young that I was answering it like a gangster, but I feel like that was a good thing. I feel like we deterred
In your little
a lot
kid
of
voice. Who
callers.
is
Yeah.
this?
Who is this? Still a gangster at 7.
Oh my gosh.
Don't judge me.
No judgment. We are black at it again for yet another not so private conversation.
Not
Mar-
so private.
We need a theme song, huh?
I know, right? You want me to sing it? No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
thank
I'm just
you.
kidding.
Martini Mondays up in this thing.
Y'all know what it is.
But it is, I mean, it's Martini Mondays, but I'm not drinking a martini and neither is Jeanne.
I wish I was drinking a martini. It's just I haven't had a chance to do any type of pickups. No Walmart, no Target pickups. I just haven't had time. So next Monday, Martini Mondays, all the way.
And I'm drinking a nice glass of red wine because, again, today was Monday for a virtual teacher. And that's that on that.
See, I don't even want to talk about what I do, but let's just say the whiskey is well deserved on a Monday. Let's
Earned.
just say that.
Every drop of whiskey is
Yes.
earned.
Yes.
So last week was really heavy. But I feel like last week was a very impactful conversations because my DMs blew up.
Right.
The numbers are amazing. That's not what we do it for, but like I said, I think
Right.
it was impactful because that was just a really raw, honest conversation. It was a difficult conversation to have.
So full transparency, last week was very hard for me. And then even when I had to go back and re-listen, it was very hard for me to the point where I just kind of skipped through. Right, right.
Yeah. Tough
And
content.
for exactly, and for the LDBs who don't know, I actually started crying when we were talking about it. So that long pause that y'all hear, that's because it was when I was at a loss for words, it was really because I just couldn't say anything else about it because I was just so emotional about it. So,
Yeah.
it was hard. I'm glad that we had it though.
Yeah. I definitely felt pressure off of my chest once we were done with it. And especially once I heard it, I was like, okay, that was pretty good.
My
A
chest
lot
was
of
tight.
people, yeah, a lot of people gave really good feedback. So, again, we definitely appreciate everybody who listens in every week.
Right. Thank
So,
y'all for listening last week. And like, we
yeah.
do understand that it was a hard conversation, but we appreciate you guys for listening and sharing. And also, of course, sharing with your friends and make sure that you have some type of just mental health space so that you can be able to talk about it in a safe capacity.
Yeah.
Even when I was talking to you, Mia, it was still like very hard to talk about it, and I tried to keep my emotions in check, but by the end of it, I just couldn't. But thank y'all for coming through, y'all the real MVPs, because it was a
The
rough week.
MVP, LDBs.
The
Yeah,
MVP
hold it down.
LDBs, yeah.
But it's a new month.
Thank
I just thought I
God.
had to say that because it is October, but I don't really know what that means because it's the same shitty year.
Can we get a new year,
You
please? But
know,
then again, I'm afraid
I don't know.
of having a new year. I'm like, next year is gonna be like boss level. this year we just, getting through the lower levels. Next year's going to be the boss, and it's just going to be
Oh
a whole.
no. Oh no. Oh, it's a new month. It's a new week. A lot has happened over the course of 1 week, Jeanne.
It
1
has.
week. So much has changed. Like last week, we were flaming y'all's president because it ain't my president.
Yeah, I don't know him.
But this week, some things have happened, haven't they?
A few things have happened to I'm not gonna say to my satisfaction, but
Oh.
I will say when someone who's been doing something and the whole time you're like, man, if they don't stop, this and this is gonna happen. It's like that I told you so moment, that like, aha, gotcha, bitch. Like that moment. That's what last week was like for me.
Yo boy got on stage last week and all hell broke loose. The
First of
narcissism
all,
and the hatred
oh my
jumped
God.
out.
Girl,
It
threw the
jumped
phone
out.
across the room. Couldn't even finish watching the debate. It was just
His maniacal personality jumped out like a zombie at a haunted house. Like, dude could not control himself.
bro. I
And
think
it was stressful to watch.
it wasn't just stressful, but it was shameful because
Shameful. Mm-hmm.
it's like there's other people in other countries seeing this and probably shaking their damn heads. Just
Laughing at us.
laughing at us, talking about how ridiculous we are as a country. And you know what? Who am I to disagree?
I mean, we've been saying it. I hate it here. It is the
I hate
ghetto.
it. Oh my God. The ultimate ghetto. Like, oh, it's like you grow up in the hood, but like when you live in the ghetto, it's a whole different story. And I'm living in the ghetto right now.
Oh my God. We are the ghetto of all the countries. So then after that, your boy caught the COVID.
No,
So
I'm
they
not gonna
say.
give no comment.
So they say.
I was skeptical. I was like, I'm not too sure. I could see him definitely using this as like an opportunity to promote what he has going on in his agenda. And then
He ain't above it.
It's just something about Melania having it too that makes it even less believable for me. But
I don't know where I stand, but they're
yeah,
saying
what do you
he
think?
got it. His inner circle's got it.
Yeah.
The
His
White House
campaign
is a
manager has it.
White
Like
House is a
everyone has
COVID
it.
hotspot. All of these aides and these reps, all of his inner circle, they all got it.
It's
I'm gonna
easy
say
to
this though.
believe. It's easy to believe because they wasn't wearing masks and it was just all the way out here.
Doing whatever, acting like it don't apply to them.
Right.
But
Go
I
ahead.
have 4 words for him.
Mm-hmm.
God don't like ugly.
That is true.
If he got it, I ain't saying he being punished or whatever, but you keep putting out this hatred and this nastiness and this narcissism, and you are just when you think about his performance at the debate, like he's the worst of the worst.
Bro, when he
Keep
talked
it up.
about Joe Biden's son, I was
Ooh,
like,
I was
that's
done.
that's when I was like, I can't watch this anymore. And then of course that ended up being like the biggest clip on social media. So it was like, damn, I didn't even want to watch this. I turned it off. And yet here I am on social media being forced to watch it.
Right.
So it's just okay. So I'm struggling. I'm not even gonna lie to you, Mia. Like, girl, I am struggling. I'm struggling trying to do the Christian thing and trying to be the when they go low, we go high.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to go high right now. It's like it's like when they go low, I want to go even lower. So
that's honest.
It's been a struggle. Like I've spoken to a few friends. I have a few friends too. I'm not gonna name no names, but they are completely honest about their feelings, and I'm just, I'm a person who just tries to see. I'm an optimist. You know that. I try to see the best out of everyone. I hope for the best for everyone. And a lot of times it backfires, like it slaps me in the face, it spits on me, whatever, but I'm still hopeful that there's good in almost every person. Why are
Your
you
boy
looking
makes
at
it
me like
hard.
that?
He makes
He
it hard.
he makes it so hard. How are you feeling about this situation? Because I'm like teetering.
You know, like you hear all of these different opinions. So people say it's a conspiracy and he's doing this for votes. He's doing it for sympathy. He's trying to pull an October surprise. He's trying to promote this particular kind of medication or whatever, or a vaccine that we have yet to get any info about. Or
I
they've been
mean,
saying
you did see he got injected with
these
a
trial steroids and
cocktail.
all this
You
stuff.
right, antibiotics. So it's kind of like, and now he's back at the White House
Right.
and out of the
Well,
hospital.
no.
So
Yeah. So I'm
as of
like,
today, yeah,
is it severe? Does he
right.
really have it? Does he not have it? All of these people around him have it, but he's calling
Everyone.
it a hoax. So how do you catch a hoax? Is it real? Is it not real? He got on the debate stage and called it the Chinese virus still. Just
I hate him just so much. Oh my God. You have no idea. When I
is the
just look
worst.
at him, I see red. But you know what? I'm trying to be a better person.
Yeah,
It's
like you
just so
said,
hard.
I think I looked at the news right before I was about to clock out for work, and it said CNN said he was trying to leave Walter Reed today, and that he feels amazing,
Right.
and that was my Trump, y'all. He
So
said that
great.
he's done with the hospital, and he feels better than he felt, I guess, 20 years ago. Like all this craziness is coming out. I don't know what to make of it. So, they used to say, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I'm going to shut
I'm
up. I don't
just,
have nothing nice to say.
yeah. I'm like,
But I will say that I do want to shout out Plies for saying what everybody was thinking on Instagram last week. I think it was last Friday.
For the president.
When I watched that video, I hollered.
You finna quarantine.
No way.
Quarantine? So no, so you're trying to listen? Listen? You don't listen? No. Don't come talking about this some CDC guidelines. You don't listen to CDC. Remember? CDC don't know what they talking about. I dare you. Disrespect. Mega land like that. And start listening to directions. Y'all don't listen to no directions. Y'all is the directions, remember? You finna quarantine.
He said what needed to be
You
said.
tested positive for COVID.
Like I said, I don't have
Ain't no
anything
COVID,
else nice to say. So I'm gonna just shut up about this, and we're all gonna watch how this unfolds for the next few weeks. So enough of that foolishness, because like I said, we'll watch that unfold. I wanted to get your perspective on something totally unrelated. And it's about everybody's favorite topic, relationships.
Ugh.
We do this from time to time. We got to dish a little bit.
What is a relationship? I don't even know what that means.
What is that? What is that? But we do find ourselves in these very grown up, long term relationships, right?
That's true.
And a lot of our friends and family are also in these relationships. Some are married, some are engaged, some are in long term relationships. And we all know that relationships go through things, right?
That's true.
So
You're right.
a lot of times, depending on the stage of the relationship, there's a common thread of situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all go through the same stuff. So, in this regard, let's think in terms of growth with my Kelly hand.
Every time I say growth, I have to do the Kelly hand. Growth.
So, you know how when you're eating, you have taste buds for things. And on one day, you may have a taste for something sweet. Another day, you may have a taste for something spicy, a taste for
Mm-hmm.
something savory, so forth and so on. What about our love buds? The things that we
Ooh.
have a taste for or a desire for when it comes to relationships.
Okay, tell me more. Tell me more.
I was reading this post by the Angry Therapist on Instagram, and he was talking about how we choose to give love and receive love, how that is not a permanent thing. That changes as we change. So if we're growing and evolving, those things should be changing as well. Those things should be growing and evolving as well, right?
Okay, good. So I need for you to dive a little deeper so I can understand where you're coming from.
So what we find attractive, that doesn't have to change.
Okay.
It could or it couldn't. For instance, me being attracted to broad shoulders, that ain't gonna never change.
A nice back.
Okay,
That's
so you
never gonna
being
change.
attracted to a nice back, that will always be there. We just like what we like, right?
Right.
But maybe our palette for things has evolved. Our internal love buds, how we want to be treated, how we want to feel. Those things basically evolve as we evolve, or they should, right?
Right. That makes sense.
So as we get
Definitely.
older and more mature, those things should not be as superficial anymore.
I agree.
If we're getting wiser, those things should be a little more informed, I guess, with experience, especially for us as Pisces, because
Right.
we're
Absolutely.
kind of complex when it comes to that type of stuff. So what we place weight and importance on, I would say, has definitely changed from when we were teenagers and in our early 20s. That stuff should have changed by now, right?
So the fact that we've been best friends since
What do we say in the very first episode?
jeez,
Sixth,
like
seventh grade.
sixth grade. So,
Mhm.
and like I've been able to see you go through these changes. I definitely
Mhm.
understand where you're coming from now because I've seen middle school Mia, high school Mia, college Mia, grown Mia. So
Okay.
yeah.
Totally different people.
Yeah.
So we've had these different love experiences, and those experiences have given us new beliefs, new definitions, right? So we've
True.
learned so much more. Therefore, we don't just want more, we
Mhm.
want better.
Exactly.
So that's basically the premise. So I think that that's a real thing. So let's kind of test this out. So superficially, don't judge
Okay.
me. The top 5 things I used to want
But
in a
judging
guy
you.
was,
Mhm.
because it's true,
Mhm,
I think it's true
mhm,
for a lot
mhm.
of us.
Say
It
it, say it, say it.
You had to be fine, right? You had to be attractive. You had to have the
One.
looks.
That was
Number one,
one.
number one, you had to be, for me, physically fit because I grew up an athlete.
Two.
You had to
Mhm.
have a job in a
Straight
car.
teeth.
That's a part of looks. You had to have a job in a car. Like once I got,
Okay.
out of, college or whatever. That was a package
Right.
deal. You had to have it. And then for me, you had to have some sort of a relationship with God. That was
Okay.
it. That was it. I ain't
Okay.
really
Yours
it
actually
wasn't
wasn't too bad. It's just
oh
yours no, like I feel like yours was like general. So
very general, no nuance to it,
yeah,
very just
like
straightforward.
I don't
I
think there
gave
was
a lot
anything
of
so
people chances.
specific.
Mm-mm.
I do know you did. For me though, I do remember mine being a little
What's
more
your top 5? What you used to want in a guy
okay.
way
So
back.
uh uh okay. I'm gonna talk about 25-year-old me because I feel like that's when I like transitioned from like wanting childish things to wanting
Well,
more.
no, because that's a part of it. So let's say in between the ages of 18, 19, up to about 25. That's your age range.
Oh my god, y'all gonna think I sound so freaking shallow right now.
That's fine.
So my top thing, top was a nice smile.
I mean, a nice smile is a that makes a woman swoon for sure.
That's true. That's true.
It's
And
a good thing.
that's the thing. Like, I've always kind of contradicted myself. So I wanted one thing, but I would go for something completely different. And then the guys that I would actually say I was attracted to or say that's what I wanted, when I would get it, I would be like, this is not exactly what I want. So if I'm thinking about what I told myself I wanted, of course, they had to be fine. They had to be fit because we all played sports. They had to have a car and a job. Of course, I mean they still do. And then they had to have like straight teeth and like they. At that point, I don't think I was that worried about a conversation. I wouldn't say I had a top
Mhm,
five.
mhm,
Probably had a top
mhm.
four. Like, and then it evolved in, but I don't really think it evolved for me because even when I said I wanted, that's not what I would settle for. I might entertain it, but I didn't settle for that. What I would settle
Mhm.
for was someone on the intellectual side. I don't know why,
Okay.
but I always go for that.
I mean, I do too. It just
Yeah,
it
I don't know. It's just
depends. It
something
depends on a lot of different factors.
that
But
is
you,
true.
so let's say you met this person or I met this person and you had the superficial things for the most
Right.
part. And then
Hmm.
you thought we just be happy, we do all the things we want to do and have the type of relationship that we thought was right or the good kind of
Hmm.
relationship and we would live happily ever after, right?
Exactly.
Wrong.
Like,
Dead
why can't
wrong.
it just be that easy?
I literally grew up thinking that it was, and I was dead wrong.
Right.
So it is said that every 7 years we change. Not
No, don't tell me that.
every 7 years we change, not just physically in our bodies, but emotionally as well. So our relationships change, our wants change, our needs change. So think back 7 years ago to 2013. I
Uh-huh.
know that I've changed tremendously.
Yeah,
I
I
like to
I
think
have
back
definitely
at
changed.
24, 25, I was just coming into my own, just beginning to get my feet wet with truly getting to know me for me and living on my own in a new city, my own place, my bills, responsibilities,
Okay, so I tried to do
navigating
that.
dating and relationships.
I tried to do all of that, but then I fell into sort of, I don't want to say entanglement, but sort of an entanglement to where
Hey, that's a part of it.
I kind of jumped from, I'm not even gonna lie, this is a safe space. We've all
It
probably
is.
had it happen once or twice, or maybe some of us, but none of us. But if it's none of you, don't judge me, judge your mama. That you were out of one relationship and then you met somebody new, and then the
Mhm,
next thing you know, you're in the next relationship. But I
mhm,
do want
mhm.
to say that my thought process and the things that I wanted did change in that instance. And me learning myself, unfortunately, happened inside of my new relationship. And when I tell you, it was a struggle, so don't do
Right.
it.
And so it was almost like we kind of had uh polar opposite situation. So
Yeah.
you jumped right in and I just was like running in the opposite direction. So I was trying to figure out all these different things about how my life had changed and
Right. I
new
tried. I was just
job,
caught up.
new
I got caught
city.
up.
I know.
Look, new
I
job,
think
new city. I just got caught up.
think that even though I stayed single, I was looking more for not like romanticism. I was looking for like a
Hmm.
companion to just like do stuff with. Because I
Okay.
had never been without people. If you know me, you know my
Right.
family's huge.
That's true.
We're close knit, and I always had my friends, or I always had my family, and you never saw me really by myself.
Hmm.
And so when I moved, I it was like an isolating time in my life. So at the time, how did I want to feel in terms of a relationship? How did I want to be treated? I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about it. I didn't give too much thought to that. So my love buds were kind of just stuck where they were. And it
Right.
wasn't until I was treated not so nicely, or until I didn't feel too good dealing with a particular person that I was dating, and I use dating very
Mhm.
loosely,
Mhm.
that I began to
Talking
grow
to.
up. Yeah, we was in a talking phase. I began
Mhm.
to grow up. That experience began to like grow me up. So my list of things began to change. And so my
Right.
love buds started to evolve, and I realized not just what I no longer wanted, or I didn't just figure out how I didn't want to be treated, but I figured out how I wanted to feel and how I wanted to be treated from here
Mhm.
on out, or from there on out.
I have to admit, like the best way was the way that you did it, getting to know yourself by yourself. I moved to a new city and I was by myself. It just happened that the guy that I was talking to at the time just happened to move to the same city that I did a few
Hey,
months
hey,
before I
hey.
did. And it wasn't, it was really a coincidence that he happened to move here. It wasn't like
Right,
planned out or anything.
right.
And then everything just ended up evolving. But if I tell him this, like we have had this conversation and I've told you this before, that if I can do it all over, I wouldn't have handled it the same. Nothing harder than you and your partner both trying to figure out like yourself individually and trying to please each other in a relationship. It's like the worst thing ever.
Now, full transparency, you say that is the best way. And now, having lived through it, I absolutely agree. But I did not do it by choice, because if it was up to me, I was trying to be in an entanglement or a relationship
Right.
with someone that I mentioned a few episodes back. But
Oh
thank
girl, I remember. We
God,
remember, girl. We remember. We remember.
thank God that did not work out. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
glad that that didn't work out, because that, I feel like that experience and me having to just be out here and figure my stuff out, that
Hmm.
helped me. That definitely propelled me into whatever growth experience I was supposed to have. But that was
As
before
your
I got
friend,
wise to the situation.
exactly. But as your friend who watched you go through this, like you say, but before I got wise to the situation, but like somebody watching you navigate like everything that you went through, moving through to a new city, trying to figure out who you are, who you want to be, where you want to go, and then also trying to like changing your career path. It to me, it didn't even seem like you wanted any of those things. It seemed like you were dead set on what you wanted and you were going for it. And that's like one of the things that I admire. And I was like, okay, I need to do better at this because it to me, it looked like it worked. It was working seamlessly, you know?
Is it? It wasn't seamless, but I will say I do agree with you when I say it was, when I say that I was dead set on
Right.
doing particular things. You could not change my mind about certain things as far as like
Yeah.
purpose. Like, I was dead set on it, but I was trying to have a little fun. Fun was, it just wasn't trying to have me. So
Hmm.
so maybe so maybe maybe, I do think that that was in my best interest at the time,
I think so too.
because this is where we're going with it next. I did start to notice that my list started to evolve, and it started to match my true values. So
Right.
all of the superficial stuff started to kind of just dissipate. And so I
Mhm.
ended up realizing that all the stuff that I was seeing out here, or where I was from, or just on social media or whatever, all that stuff didn't matter anymore. And my list started to evolve into, if you say you want a relationship and you want to be with somebody, you want somebody who is kind and loyal, because
Exactly.
loyalty is big to me, because I'm a very loyal person. Um, Somebody who wasn't trying to date all of the women in Houston between the ages of 22 and 32. Like,
Right. Mhm.
somebody who, somebody who was family oriented, who did
Mhm.
have the job, car, they own place, trio, somebody who was honest, but somebody who was still very funny, who could make me laugh, somebody who was proactive instead of reactive, and then somebody who was forward thinking and not a person who was flying by the seat of their pants, because that's just no longer attractive to me.
Oh my God, it is not.
Figure your shit out, because I need to know where I'm going. I don't like surprises.
Right.
I'm not that person. I am a recovering control freak. So I need to know what's up.
Like, know who you are, know what you want, because I'm not trying to figure it out for you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Those types of things that became important to me. Stability, being able to make decisions, being compassionate towards whatever situation, being thoughtful, all those things. Like, being attractive was still on the list, because that ain't gonna never go away. But it was no longer number one. It's still the thing that catches my eye. It catches everybody's eye. But attraction doesn't keep a person. Attraction changes over the years. Good looks fade, like they say.
Plus, attraction is different for me, and the looks that I'm attracted to is different than what I used to be attracted to as well. So
right.
Those have also evolved.
Whoever is attractive to me, because whoever I'm attractive to may not be attracted to the next person who you're attracted to, who anybody's attractive to. You know, that's for that person.
Exactly. Because we have two different definitions of attractive when we speak of. So, I feel like there's like the generic definition.
Right.
And then like our own personal definition is just kind of is the same when it comes to personality, but it's different when it comes to looks. That is for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's fine for all people. There are people that everybody thinks is fine,
right?
And there are people that only I think are fine, or only you think are fine, and that just is what it is. But for me, that's not even the number one thing on my list anymore. The thing that became, when I realized that, okay, I don't want to just be out here dating just to be dating. I still want companionship. I want a partner. I want a soulmate. I'm not too big on the soulmate word, but I want somebody who I can have a future with. I thought about more than compatibility and being compatible with a person. I want somebody who's going to be suitable. So compatibility versus suitability. I didn't learn that until my current relationship. I think this might be the first time I've even talked about my current relationship, but I think it's important because it's something that a lot of people misconstrue. And a lot of people think that be like the external stuff, like the looks and the hobbies and the friend groups and the interests, that's all super duper important, and that's what makes or breaks a relationship, right? Like we laugh at the same movie, or we have the same type of humor, or we both like LeBron, or we both like the color green. I mean, we have so much in common that is the thing.
In our defense, that it's easy to fall into that initially, but then once you get to know a person on a deeper level and you see how suitable they are for you, those things change. And then I feel like in a lot of relationships it's like, okay, am I tolerating this person at this point, or do I actually like this person at this point?
Right. And that's why I say I truly had to learn compatibility versus suitability. Which one is the more important thing? So
which one is more important to you?
I just think for me, it's more, relationships is not about the fluff anymore. At first, I ain't gonna lie, it was about the fluff for me. Did we look good together? Do we look good in the pictures? You know,
this my boo.
These days, and I've had to learn this over the course of an almost 6-year relationship, that it is about your purpose. What are we really doing together? why are we here together? Like it, and that can get really deep, but that if you can't answer that question in your relationship, I challenge you to take a step back and really start to dissect your relationship, because all that other stuff, do we like this? Do we like the same things? Blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. That's all child's play. I can be
It really
compatible
is.
for a lot of different dudes. I can, because
That's
I'm just
true.
that kind of girl.
That's
And
true.
I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying I'm a type of person where I know how to get in where I fit in. And
Not just that, I feel like we're also like well-rounded, and we
there you
also
go.
have like I feel like when it comes to interests and things that we're willing to try, we just have a broad like spectrum of just so many things that we're just willing to try or we have tried before. So it's easy when it comes to compatibility with, you know, all the fish in the sea. It's initially we're gonna find something that makes us compatible because
Right,
there's
right.
just so much that me and you as just individuals just enjoy. We not just like a one type of spectrum people. We just like I said, we're very well rounded and informed to where
Yeah.
we can appreciate so much more. So it's
Yeah.
easy to find somebody who's going to be interested in something that we're interested in. But when it comes to suitability, that's where it becomes hard. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. I can be compatible with a lot of different people. And based on my dating experience, I have been.
Right.
But those relationships didn't last for that very reason. Just because we were compatible, that does not mean that we were suitable for each
Mm-hmm.
other. And I'm a particular kind of person. You know, it's more than just now, it's more than just good vibes when we go out, like matching
Yeah.
energy when we go out. Similar
Yeah.
personalities don't mean that we're meant to be together.
It's true.
Like
That
for
that can
me,
mean we just meant to be friends,
right,
besties.
good friends.
Yeah.
But at the big age of 31, that ain't the approach that I'm trying to take anymore. You know, like my love buds have evolved. And
And
so
and through your relationship, when your love buds have evolved, like did your partner's love buds evolve as well? How did that affect each other's love buds
when it came to dating different people or in my current relationship,
in your current relationship?
oh, child, you're gonna have to ask him because I don't
I'm
know.
asking about your love buds.
So for me, relationships are all about fruitfulness now. Like,
Okay.
not even like, you know, productivity. Are we entrepreneurs? Are we making this money
Mhm.
together? Are we building an empire? No, because I
Mhm.
honestly could not care any less about that. It's about, you know, what are we doing together for each other, with each other,
Right.
that type of thing. I
How are we
wasn't
nurturing each other inside of this
right. How are
relationship?
we pushing each
Exactly.
other to be better as human beings, as
Mhm.
partners, as whatever? I wasn't thinking about that in my early 20s. To be honest with you, I don't know what I
Hell
was.
no. I'm
What
like,
was
what was I thinking about in my
what?
early 20s?
I was racking my brain earlier trying to remember what headspace was I in back then.
Girl, I know it was in that one. I know it's not the current one.
It's probably a good thing that I don't remember. The only thing that I could remember was that when I thought about what it meant to be in love and what it meant to be in a relationship, I was thinking Disney movie. I was thinking soap operas and, you know, fairy tales and butterflies and gumdrops. Like, I wasn't thinking
I was
what
thinking
I've
more
had to go through
Bridget
the
Jones'
last 6 years.
Diary. That's what I was thinking. More Bridget Jones' Diary. Less soap opera is what I was
I
thinking.
was full blown, you know, into the whole romanticism, fantasism type of thing. But I'm
Mhm.
so glad, you know, like, thank God we let that growing up
That's
process
true.
have its own way, because we ended up learning a lot. And now we're in relationships with these other people, and we have like jumped head first into learning, growing, you know, even if it's painful sometimes, you know. So
That's true.
looking for more suitable things, taking note of
Mhm.
our experiences to use them as we move forward. Like, that's really
Deciding
key.
what we're going to accept
Yeah.
as well, like what we're going to compromise on, because knowing what you want comes with a cost. And that cost is finding someone as close to that, as close to being suitable as you, but having like situations or things inside of your relationship that you just don't agree on. So it's like, okay,
Mhm.
like I know what I want. I've chosen the person who I know I want this with, but it still doesn't make the relationship any easier to navigate. Like you're
Right.
still going to
Right.
have issues you have to work through, because that person is also an individual who knows what they want.
Exactly. And if I'm looking at the relationship through the lens of compatibility, that would be a deal breaker. Because
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
butt heads on a particular topic or an issue or a stance, we don't agree. So that means we're not compatible, because
Right.
that causes conflict. Therefore, we must not be compatible.
Yeah.
But that's looking at it through the wrong lens. So if I look at it through the lens of suitability, I know, like you said, that's an individual. I'm an individual. We're bringing our experience to the table.
Mhm.
They could be different. So I have to respect their experience. They have to do the same for mine. And we
Right.
have to come to a mutual decision here. And
Right.
if you are both of like mind and you're able to come to that decision, no matter how long it takes, that's suitability. Is this person suitable for you? Forget compatibility, because I can
Mhm.
be compatible with somebody who I'm, like you said, a friend, somebody who could be my best friend, but they were never supposed to be the person that I spend the rest of my life with.
Right. Like me and you.
We're compatible and we're suitable.
I think we're going to spend the rest of our lives together, so that's not an issue.
We finna be on our Grace and Frankie. So get the beach
Exactly.
house ready.
I really feel like even if like things don't work out romantically in like 50 years, we'll still be together.
I'm just coming to move in. So whoever you with,
That's fine.
whatever,
That's fine. That's
just
fine.
get my room ready. That's all that
He
matters.
gotta go. He gotta go. He gotta go.
But I think based on where I am now versus where I was years prior,
Mhm.
my outlook is just different these days. I was never, I don't know, vouch for me if you can, but I really don't believe I was ever the type to settle down with kids and a dog and a house and a this
Yeah,
and a
no, you
that.
weren't.
I don't think I was. I don't know
I
what I
there's certain relationships that I'm kind of thinking of right now where it's
was.
kind of like you fell into that for a moment, but then you quickly found yourself out. It
Goodbye.
it's you have a tail, and when well, back then you did. Now it's like I don't even know no more. But back then it was like when you were like, I'm about to bounce, I knew when you were about to bounce.
It's
So
a
it
wrap.
yeah, it was because you don't talk a lot about everything you go through. Like you
Mm-hmm.
might mention it a few times, especially back then. And then it's like, okay, if she's mentioned this to me like 3 times, that means that this is not going to work. And that
Right.
usually what it meant.
Right.
It meant that
Right.
it was not going to work. And then the next time I would talk to her, it was like,
Oh yeah, that's done.
is that,
That's a wrap.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
That sounds about
So
right.
I
You
feel
know me.
like I feel like your foundation is still the same. It's just the way that you've built on top of your foundation has changed.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting. I think now where before I honestly was not taking dating and relationships serious. Even
Yeah,
if I thought
I don't think you
I
took it
wasn't.
seriously, but I think you always knew what you wanted, what you would settle for, and what you would not take.
Which is why I didn't take a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah.
seriously. Like we both said, I gave chances and I might have gave too many to the, you know,
Mhm.
people who never mind. Anyway, so I clearly know now what I want that to look like. And that has come
Exactly.
with a lot of growth. Like being 31,
Absolutely.
going on 32, a whole lot of stuff gets real clear
Girl,
real
yes.
quick, you know? So I know now that I want to, I place a lot of importance and a lot of weight on partnership.
Mhm.
So I want to be treated like a teammate. I want
Right.
to be a respected equal. But the
That's
feminine
true.
side of me still wants to be treated gently and compassionately. But then the alpha side of me, you better let me know that I'm the top priority. I come second to nobody.
I
And
don't
for
think
me, that's not negotiable.
right. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I may be biased,
I
but
mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
I feel the same exact way. Like I'm your equal for sure. Like we both
Hmm.
it's and when I say equal, I'm when people say 50%, 50%, I don't mean equal like that. I mean 100%,
Right, right,
100%.
right, right, right. Hmm.
So I'm your equal in that way. But like as a woman, I still want you like things to be gentle and compassion. And so and more than one thing can be true at one time.
Yes.
So I think that's okay because I feel like at the same time, if I want that, I also understand that my guy wants 100 but he also wants to kind of be the man, whatever that means. And he wants things to me to treat him
The way he wants to be treated,
exactly.
whatever that looks
So
like.
how I treat him needs to be masculine, and how I want him to treat me, I want it to be more feminine. So I feel like that's okay to give each other 100, and then me treat him more masculine and him treat me more feminine. And by that, I do not mean, because you already know there's some people listening talking about I'm the head, she the neck, and all that bullshit.
The head and the neck.
That is not what I mean. When I say that, like I don't mean like I want him to pay the bills and I'm just like chilling and he buying me purses. No, like I mean like when it comes to being affectionate towards each other, when it comes to like how we literally treat each other, like that's how I want to be treated.
Hmm.
Now, when it comes to like everything else that comes with a partnership, paying bills, setting expectations, having conversations, like all that has to be 100, 100. I cannot be in this relationship giving everything and then you only giving me 50 to 75%. Like, and that's what I mean about 100, 100.
Period. Period. Wait,
Because you
wait, wait,
already
wait.
know
Don't the neck control the head?
what I said.
But no, you said the guy said, "Well, I'm the head and she the neck," and I'm like, "Well, don't the neck control the head?"
Okay, so I if there's just so many hoteps out there that just makes it sound so bad that I don't even like to refer to the
Hoteps be
woman.
tepping, dog.
They will be like,
Mm.
she the neck, I'm the head. When I go one way, she go that way too. And I'm like,
She came from my rib, so she's supposed to stand on side of me.
it's just like, oh my god.
But I definitely get what you're saying. I just think, like what I was saying before, like I think there are some non-negotiables that men and women have,
Exactly. Everyone
and
does.
you and your partner, y'all gotta be
You have to
transparent
be in the
about.
middle.
Yes, y'all got to be transparent about that, and y'all have to make sure your partner knows about that. Because me myself
Mhm.
personally, I'm not negotiating my worth with nobody. You gonna see me
Oh
for who
yeah,
I am and what
I
I am.
I definitely have non-negotiables and hard
Definitely,
stops that I have put on my current
full
relationship
stops.
where I have looked at him and said, "There is no freaking way that I'm budging on this." And we can
There are
go
some.
round and round as long as you want to, but this is where I stand. And some people may think that's like being a little stubborn, but I feel like my non-negotiables are very reasonable. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a woman. It's just certain things about life and the direction in which you're going and the expectations you have from one another, and and being responsible and acknowledging like your the places that you fall short. I feel like those are the non-negotiables in a relationship. Now, when it comes to everything else, we can figure it out.
See, now that's where I'm like, I want to feel like I'm in a partnership. We work in tandem. We both win together. We'll
Exactly.
figure out our losses together, but we're going to do what works for the both of us, not what is in the better interest of only
Serve
this
you
person
or
or
me.
only that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So my taste and my desire for certain things, um, you know, it's mine. It's
Mm-hmm.
what I make work in my relationship. What everybody else is doing, I can't pay too much attention to that. I have to focus on what's in front of me, because focusing on what everybody else does will have me and my
You going
relationship
crazy.
messed up,
Which we both have had to learn that lesson. Like what works for everybody else don't mean it's gonna work for us.
I got to put in the work in my own relationship so that my relationship is out here flourishing.
Thriving.
Yeah,
Right.
in real life, not just on social media.
Exactly. And I don't even
So,
post on social media, so
so your love buds, think about how they change, how they should be evolving. They're inevitably going to change. And if they're not changing at all, like think about the past 7 years and then the 7 years before that. If nothing is changing, you really got to look at yourself.
reevaluate. Yeah.
What do you place value on?
I think that
What?
scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back and realize that nothing has changed. I feel like that's like a fear of mine. Like that means that I haven't had any growth in like the last 7 years. Like
It's
what?
like when you learn better and when you know better,
You
you
do
start to do
better.
better.
Exactly.
So, if you're not doing any better than what you were doing 7 years ago, 14 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
you doing? If your partner is not treating you the way that you know that you want to be treated,
Mm-hmm.
treated, have you
Edit it out.
communicated those things? Like, are you being honest with yourself? Are you being honest with your partner? And even if you are single, take it from me. This is the prime opportunity for you to get really honest with yourself and
Right.
figure out who you are, what you want, what you don't want. It's easy to also know what you don't want and not know what you want. So when you get really clear on those things, it makes everything a lot more simpler. You will stop entertaining the bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
and life will just be much better. Like stuff will not be so complicated. I want to know, for the people who basically said, "Oh, I fell for this person and I didn't intend on doing it. And now we're in
Right.
this relationship and that was never a part of the plan. And now we're married and we have 2.5 kids and a dog and a white picket fence." Like, when was that transition
Oh
for you?
yeah. I definitely want to know that because like let's not get it twisted. Me and Mia, we've had some experiences, but pretty much all the guys we've had these experiences with have been pretty good guys. Like even my
Yeah.
ex, I can't say that he was just like a horrible person and it was
Yeah.
just like a horrible experience. And
Right.
my current boyfriend, when like the first years it was hard, but I can't say that it was like the worst thing I've ever been through. Like, so I want to hear about like when people's minds like actually do change when they're like really involved.
This could like kind of segue a conversation into like when we talk about how we want to feel, how we want to be treated. It could lead into a conversation about love languages and so forth and so on. But
Oh yeah.
that's a conversation for another day.
But for real, LDBs, like y'all really be holding back. on my side. Like y'all be reaching out to Mia and all. I'll be having like maybe like 5 of y'all reach out to me to tell me something, which I get because I'm not active, but I would be more active if I got more alerts. I finally did set up my notifications, so I received,
Okay.
look, last week, so that I receive an alert.
After 20 episodes, she finally is getting active.
I mean, so hit me up. I might hit you back, I might not, but
No, for real, LDBs, hit us up. And thank y'all for listening this week. And we'll talk to you guys next week for another Not So Private conversation. Peace.
Bye. Thank you so much, long distance besties, for joining us again for another Not So Private conversation. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at Jeanne V. Williams. That's at Jeanne, Jeanne V. Williams, and at Perfectly Mia. That's at Perfectly MIA. And if you have any topic suggestions or any questions, shoot us an email at notsoprivatepod@gmail.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We definitely appreciate it. Remember to leave a review on Spotify, Apple, and Google. You can also find us at Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Overcast, and Breaker. And you can find us on anchor.fm/NotSoPrivatePod. Now you can also hear us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Not So Private Podcast channel. Now, with all of that being said, join us next time for another Not So Private conversation.